Faith-Based Workplace, LLC understands that narcissistic leaders are self-absorbed and hold beliefs of entitlement and superiority. At the same time, they act in their own best interest, putting others' needs and interests at risk. Therefore, workers can feel the pressure of working under narcissistic supervision. Such workers also may suffer abusive behavior from their narcissistic leaders. Companies with narcissistic leaders have higher turnover rates, and employees at these companies suffer from anxiety, depression, and low self-esteem. Faith-Based Workplace, LLC wants to help employees handle direct contact with narcissists. Faith-Based Workplace, LLC's mission is to train employees on how to deal with other narcissists' employees, staff, and managers. Visit www.faithbasedworkplace.com for blogs, tips, and exclusive merchandise. Check us out on YouTube for help.
Damn. Hello, can you hear me?
Hello.
Can you give me a 1 or something in the chat?
It's like,
I don't know if they can hear me or not. I think they can. I ain't seen nobody say anything yet.
Just go.
Okay, we're just gonna go. I think I know we live. Yeah, Adrina's smiling, so we hear something. So, hey, Danny, how you doing? Hey, Anna, Uniquely Made, Coach Natisha. Hey, Shine Sugar Shine, how you doing? KK, I don't think I've seen that name before, but hey, how you doing? Who else we have in here? Who did I miss? Love Peace. Thank y'all all for coming out and spending the evening with us. I know it's Friday, so welcome y'all. Christine Kennedy, thank you for coming. Oh, that's Christine C from LinkedIn. Okay.
Okay.
All right, thank y'all for coming out. Hey, Rizzo, how you doing, brother? Yeah, we love Rizzo.
Got some strong brothers. Rizzo, Danny,
yeah, we got,
Alan B. We got some strong. We love to see strong men of God. So we love our sisters, but we got to salute our brothers. We love it.
Okay, this video, y'all already know this live. We're going to get into the female narcissist and why she's underestimated. So this should be a good one. We're doing a little different thing I'm going to try, so we'll see how that plays out. But we're going to bring Adrina in. Adrina is sitting backstage. She's ready to come in.
Adrina. We can see Adrina. Adrina, I thought I had the facial expressions. Adrina brings the facial expression.
All right, let me bring Adrina in. Let's see. Hey, Adrina.
Hey, y'all.
The other one.
All right, let me do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Hey, y'all.
Hey, how you doing? How you doing?
Doing good.
Yes. You want to introduce yourself, Adrina? I know. Don't you like when you do that? It's like, oh, you want me to say something about myself?
Right. I think I'm a little bit more prepared this time, but hey, everybody, I'm Adrina Monet, and I am honestly just simply me. Amazing friends. I don't know. Super empath, personal assistant, written content editor, model, and that type of thing. And so, yeah, I'm just simply Adrina Monet, and that's who I am.
Yes, yes,
Oh, yeah.
We love it.
Foodie. I am a foodie.
Oh, definitely a foodie.
My pizza is upstairs right now. I said, let me not be a heathen on screen tonight, and so, yeah.
Okay, nice.
After.
So you ready to tackle this subject on the female narcissist?
I believe so. I have quite some notes, so we'll see.
Yes.
We'll see.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Anna. Hey, Uniquely Made. Hey, Danny. Hey, Rizzo. Coach Natisha. Love Peace and others.
Got all the family in here.
Yep.
Y'all bear with me. I'm trying to find this thing that I did earlier. I can't find it. I saved it.
Just go to your PowerPoint. Well, I am Shannon Savoy of Narc Free Living. I'm glad to be here with Solomon and Adrina tackling the topic of the female narcissist. We had Solomon had Adrina and me on last week, so it was good just to, because we don't talk about the female narcissist as much. Females or women talk about narcissists. So like I always say, men are typically the face of narcissist abuse. So it's good to have this topic where men and women, because we both have been affected in different ways by narcissists. So it's good to be here just to discuss the female narcissist. So thank you for having me. Mm-hmm.
Okay, I found what I was looking for. Now, let me see if I can do this. Barry, I'm not Shannon, a technical person.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see if I can do this right quick. Let's see.
Yeah, and it's this one.
Sharing.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Solomon's sharing his screen. Yeah, and then just put it in presentation mode.
Hey, Tanya. Yeah. Cool.
Tanya's in here.
Yeah, she'll be here briefly, she said.
Oh, okay. It's Joy. Oh, no, today's Friday. Oh, this week is just going by. Minimize that.
Yep.
Okay.
Then I'm sharing this.
Yep.
Okay. Let's see if this works. Oh.
Okay.
Getting fancy.
All right, let's rock and roll.
Yeah, I actually created this. I wanted to try something different, so I created this. We'll see how this works out. Because the way me and Shannon was talking about it, you know, we do these lives and we do these different videos, and the way I think about it is always like a teaching or something like that. So I was talking to Shannon, like, how can we take this to not really another level, but just, you know, bring more content in instead of just talking all the time. So I was like, you know, I can do like the PowerPoint and just share it and still have, you know, they're interactive. My first time trying this, so we'll see how this works out.
It looks good.
Thank you. So as you see, the title again is Why Are Female Narcissists Oftentimes Underestimated? And we're gonna get into this one. The first question. So how do you? Oh wait. Mm-hmm. Here. Oh, look at me, fancy. Adrina, you're getting the first question. Why do women narcissists groom their children?
Wow. Yeah. When I saw this question, I was like, I mean, because we all pretty much, as survivors and warriors and all of that of narc abuse work, we pretty much have the ability to be inside the demonic mindset of narc abusers and all of that. But because I don't have, you know, parents or any relative that's a narc, I'm like, I hope I can answer this well enough. But of course, Roachface, her mother groomed her to be a narcissist and sociopath and all of that. So Roachface's mom is a narcissist. And I know that because, like, over time, she would tell me stuff about how her mom hasn't worked in X number of years. So to my knowledge, they get like government financial benefits off of the British government. And then Roachface works or whatever. There's still no sympathy, but nevertheless, she works the past couple of years to provide whatever financial, whatever. And then just different things. But yeah, I mean, why do they groom their children? I guess even also when I saw this question, I was thinking of not only, I guess, why, but how do narc parents, you know, how do they groom? So of course, in my preparation for the fact, One way they do so, female narcs, well, yeah, obviously, especially, is that they do so through like exploiting cultural assumptions about women. Mm-hmm. Although, thankfully, in the past like 3 to 5 years, for those narc abuse survivors that have been speaking out openly online, especially in offline and more intimate environments and group spaces, what was I going to say? Yeah, they do so by exploiting cultural assumptions about women, like in any culture, but more so in places where narc abuse is prevalent, States, Canada, UK, Europe, not so sure about like Australia especially. And so thankfully a more balanced narrative is being provided by sons and daughters and the like, etc. of narc parents and all of that. But yeah, through exploiting cultural assumptions, also through coercive control, which coercive control, any narc, malignant, covert, overt, all the above, coercive control being like just brainwashing techniques for a victim or a target to adjust their personality, their likes and dislikes, what they'll tolerate, basically, what they'll find themselves tolerating over time through masterful manipulation and deception from and by the female narc. So through coercive control, which coercive is COERCIVE, just in case, coercive control. And then, of course, through intermittent reinforcement as well, which intermittent reinforcement is like the push-pull, a reward here and there from the female narc, narc mother, narc wife, narc girlfriend, narc friend, the routine, occasional gift or reward for basically happily being a puppet, right, for the narc demon and all of that. Yeah, so I don't know. Hopefully that helps. Hopefully that helps to begin that answer.
Yeah.
I'm not a narc. I don't have narc parents. I'm not an But
you have to have narc parents to understand how narcissists groom them. You see it, and you see it all throughout society, how that narcissist woman is able to take the kids. And I remember growing up watching a story about Diane Downs and Small Sacrifices. I don't know if you've ever seen that. I read that book when I was coming up as a teenager. I don't know if I was a teenager or younger, but and I have a video called Small Sacrifices because I was a sacrifice, and that's what narcissistic parents do. Parents, mothers, fathers, their children are their sacrifices for whether they're the relationship. And you think of Susan Smith, narcissist. If you think of all like mothers that have killed their kids or allowed their partners to kill their kids or whatever the case was, you can see how these were narcissistic women come into play. And I don't know if you remember Susan Smith. She was the woman that drove her kids into the car, and I think it was in South Carolina, and killed them because the boyfriend didn't want kids. So she drove her children, I think it was 2 boys or something like that, drove them into the lake and then pretended like a black man had killed her kids. So when we think about it, we just think, oh, like that woman is crazy. That's a narcissist. That's a sociopath. You know what I mean? That, you know, and of course, we're not doctors, but you see the signs. You see them all. It's clearly there. And I was just listening to a video, and it was one, I forgot what, her Heart or something like that. And it was the lesbian couple that got the black kids, and they, what did they do? They, like they were taking pictures on Instagram, but behind closed doors, the kids weren't being fed. And I think they end up killing each other or killing the kids. The whole family, I think, end up dying. Yeah. So those are, those are
the info on that couple. Yeah, I haven't heard that story. The Susan Smith story sounds vaguely familiar, but that couple and the children that they adopted or whatever. Yeah,
can you put that up there?
Susan Smith was in 95. Child, I was 10 years old.
Is that long ago?
I was 10. Was I even 10? I wasn't even 10. I was 9. Going to be 10.
Wow. Yeah, it doesn't seem that long ago, but that's a female narcissist.
I was trying to get through my own childhood. It wasn't a narc childhood, but it wasn't that. I was 9.
Right. Hello. Yeah. You want to say anything on that before we go to the next question?
No, I mean, y'all hit that one out of the park. I mean, too many times we see the women, and we see, when there's a daughter or a son, we see them come into play where they I forgot what the question was. When you come into the play where they raise these kids to be narcissists. So it's a grooming factor. So that's the way I look at it. So, but yeah, that's what I got out of that. Hey, welcome Jamaican Barbie and Lou 1234. Welcome.
Okay. And yes. So did you want to say something, Adrina?
No, one question I also had in mind is maybe like any slight difference. We may not be able to cover it for this video, but maybe you guys, it's an idea for you guys in the future. Family dynamics where there's because Roachface is an only child. So she really is the golden child for the family. I can recall her telling me stuff about how aunts, her mom's sisters, and the mother, of course, would get into it. I think at least one of her aunts is a sociopath as well, at least one. But the one that I'm thinking of right now, I don't think it's a sociopath. And so she would tell me, Roachface would tell me about how, they're so, of course she was lying, but she would claim she would want to get from under her mom, but not really, because she knows. Yeah. She knows. Yeah. And so anyways, just my question would be, subtle differences in narc mothers that have more than one child versus just one child.
And I think that kind of goes into the next question. I think, this is just from what I've studied. Of course, I'm no therapist, just a life coach who studies this stuff.
You are good and certified. Okay.
Hello. Right. But I see, okay, so I'm a golden child, right? Or not a golden child. I'm the scapegoat child.
Right. Okay.
So, and at times I was the golden child. It just depends on what was going on and how I could benefit the narcissistic parent. And that's really what it's all about. So, and I think as an only child, it's even more difficult because at different times that one child has to play all the roles. Okay. So it's almost like they have schizophrenia or borderline. I can see how borderline personality disorder or schizophrenia or something like that can be developed in that one child, because they have to navigate with me. It's 3 children. So I'm the scapegoat. You have the golden child and the invisible child, like the roles to a T is my family. So you can see how each of us was groomed, just like this question is saying. You can see how each of us was groomed for certain, based on our characteristics, whether we would be good supply for each role, based on our characteristics. So I'm a fighter. So of course, I'm not going to make a good golden child. I'm not going to be someone who's going to be groomed in a narcissistic image because I'm going to push back. So therefore, she already knew she couldn't, early on, she couldn't use me as a good golden child. Right. So
a trophy,
right.
Trophy child.
Right. Yeah. So the question is, why do narcissistic women, or why and how? Yeah, they determine it based on the characteristics of the child. The child, one is more handsome or one is more beautiful than the other. Then that one gets to be the golden child, because now the mother can use that child to gain supply. So when people say, oh my goodness, he's so cute, she's so cute, you know what I mean? The mother's like, I'm cute, I'm beautiful, I'm the things that you're telling my child. So based on, it's really a how do women determine versus why. It's how is based on the level of supply that they can extract, and based on the child's characteristics is how they determine what role the child will be. So it's really, it's a setup from the beginning for a child. You're in a lose-lose situation with a narcissistic parent until you begin to break out of it.
Very true.
I definitely agree with that. Hey, how you doing, Joy? Joy, welcome.
Hey, Joy. Jamaican Barbie.
Yeah, I'll chime in right quick, and then I'll let you chime in if you want to chime in, Adrina. Yeah, it's like you said. So when you have one child, it's like they got to play a dual role. It's almost like going to college and getting a dual credit. So you're working on 2 things at the same time. But in this case, you'll be doing 3 different persons. So you're having 3 different personalities. But if you have 2 or 3 child, 4 children, I should say, you can then turn around and, like you say, you can assign each one a task. It's like giving them a task, like you go clean the house, but no, you go be the scapegoat. You're going to do this, but you're the golden child. and then, so they can get their supply and able to work that way with the children. So at the end of the day, basically they're using the kids. I mean, that's what it comes down to. They're using the kids to their benefit, and then it comes down to what me and Shannon talked about before, and it comes down to the moms basically saying that their children are going to take care of them for the rest of their life. So it's like to the grave. So you have that dynamic. Now, most of us don't have millions, but you still have these moms that want you to retire them. You have the moms that want you to, you can buy me a car. I'm married. I'm paying my own car note. Why don't you and your husband? You know what I'm saying? So you have them dynamics where they'll sit there and try to put that on the son, or they'll put it on the daughter, depending on what role you're in. And they think that just because they brought you into the world, remember, I didn't ask to be here. So you had sex and you brought me here. So I'm here, but that don't mean I owe you anything. You raised me as a son, but that's fine. That don't mean I have to turn around and go buy you a car or buy you a house, especially when you're married and things like that. So you have them dynamics. That's what I see a lot with the female narcissist. They'll take that role and think their son, in a lot of cases, gonna be the son. And I'll go one step further. So when a man isn't in the house and the son is there, then that's when the mom will take that son and be like, you the man in the house. That's a mistake from jump, because now you taking a boy, tell him he the man in the house. So guess what? When you start dating and bring a man into the house, now you sitting back, y'all clashing. Now you wonder why the boy and the man not getting along. That's because you didn't told that boy. Yeah, I said boy, he's 10, 12 years old. He's the man of the house. And so when you bring this man and you start dating, it might be a year or two later, now he's 14, and you start dating, now they clashing, and you wonder why you can't keep a man. I'm not bashing women, but I'm just saying, just look at the dynamics. I mean, you didn't create a problem that now you got to get yourself out of. So I don't agree with the women saying that a boy, you the man of the house. No, you're still a boy. I'm the woman. I'm going to take care of the house. If not saying I'm a woman, but what I'm saying. If you're the woman of the house, you're going to take care of the house and do what you have to do. You're not going to depend on your son that's 14, 12 years old to sit there and say he's the man of the house. Now he's up there, trying to do manly things. Stay in the boy's place, go ahead, cut grass and wash the dishes and do those things. Don't worry about what mama has going on. It could be a daughter too, when you say the daughter, hey, you see that dynamic too. So I just don't agree with those type of things when it comes with female narcissists. You can go ahead, Adrina.
No, I mean, same sentiments. And as far as like a narc mother wanting her son or daughter, or both, if she has one of each or a couple of each or whatever, to take care of her the rest of her life once she's reached a certain age and wakes up that day in that kind of mood, that's going to be the case with the family dynamic or whatever, because that's Roach Face's mom all day.
That's sad.
Yeah.
Not good.
That's not good. And then on the point that y'all just made, then you'll have mothers and their sons are dressing like them. Especially social media is just like a breeding ground for narcissists. The son is dressing like the mother. The son is, she's really just grooming the son in her image, or she's sharing things inappropriately with the son or the daughter. So you see it in both their kids, but children are not meant to carry their parents' burdens. No. So the children are parentified in a lot of cases. Like you said, the mother just essentially just grooms the children to be her man. Whether it's emotionally, you have emotional incest, or whether it's physically, not physically. We hope it's not, not sexually, but physically, she wants them around her. And then financially, the children become the responsible for her well-being, even if she's narcissistic. So you see how that dynamic it just creates a cycle, and a cycle. Then the son marries a narcissist, or the daughter gets into a narcissistic relationship, and then it's just perpetuated over and over again. So
I don't want to keep beating this dead horse, but it's they raise and they groom that way. So that's all they know. So you can't sit there, well, why are they doing that? Yeah, we want to believe that, well, they should know right from wrong. Well, if I'm taught wrong my whole life, I'm going to do wrong things. So I hate when they say that, well, you should know. No, if I'm taught this my whole life, that's what I'm going to go out and do. It's just like on another subject, I'm taught racism my whole life. Guess what? I'm going to end up being a racist because that's all I know. Until I get to a place where I have to figure out, okay, racism isn't the thing I should be doing. It's not right or whatever. So it's the same thing with narcissism. A narcissist mother teaches her son that he's going to take control of the house and this is what he's going to do. Well, like you said, he's going to marry a narc because that's what he used to. So it's just like they always say, a son is going to marry someone close to his mom. And the same thing when they say a daughter's going to marry someone close to their father. Well, that is true when you think about it. They marry these people because that's what they used to. I ain't saying they go look like them, but they go have certain character traits that's going to be like that mom or that dad. So, and you wonder why we end up in these relationships. We taught it.
Yeah.
We taught it. It's like going to school. We in school 24/7 with this parent that's teaching us all the wrong things. And is it their fault? Yes, they part blame. But then you got to go one step further. They probably was taught wrong too. So it's like you always say, it's a generational curse. It goes back a few generations. It's not just that one parent. You got to go back to her mom and then her mom. And where did this cycle actually start? So that's why we always say you got to break those chains, because now you have to sit there and say, hey, you know what? It's gonna stop with me. I'm done with this. So yeah.
Generational stronghold.
Yes.
Yeah. Let me read this right quick. Dana said, agree, faith-based workplace. I never agree with mothers telling their young sons they are the man of the house. Too much pressure for a young boy. Exactly. That's what I say. I mean, you put too much pressure on this young boy to be a man, and you wonder why they in gangs. You wonder why they doing all these things, why they out at night. Well, you told me the man of the house. Why should I have a curfew? I'm the man of the house. I should better come in when I want to. Why you tell me I got to be in by midnight? I'm the man of the house. I'm out here making money. I'm selling drugs. I'm doing whatever. So you wonder why they go down them paths. And I think all that is relatable when you get into it. So that is my take on that.
And it's we're not woman bashing. I always have to say we're not women bashing and alleviating the responsibility off of the man, but in this segment, we are talking about the woman.
Yes.
Balanced narrative.
Yes.
Yes.
No, it's a balanced narrative. So yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because we talk about most of the time it's about men. So we gonna talk about women today.
Yeah, the men take a good hit, and it's deservedly so, because they do a lot and they the forefront. And when you're the man of the house, you do certain things. So yeah, you're gonna be put out there on blast. But like in my case, for y'all that heard the story, well, it was a woman, and Danny got a story. We have stories where they have these women narcissists. So the more men talk about this, the more they say that they was abused or beat by a woman. The woman cheated on, because everybody try to paint this picture sometime that, well, women don't cheat, it's just men. I say, no, that ain't true. They go both ways. And, it's a lot of things that we don't look at behind the scenes. And you don't know. It's like I said before in a previous video, you can see this couple walk outside their house. They had a nice car. They always dressed up. You think everything is nice. But it's some stuff going on behind that closed door that you will never know about until the cops get called and you figure out that something that happened. So you have to realize these things, that it's different dynamics that's going on. It's not just men that are narcissists, it's women, and women play a huge part. The ones that are really covert narcissists, they play a huge role. And that's why I do faith-based workplaces, because they in the workplace. So a lot of these people are CEOs or presidents and stuff too. Talking about the women, well, guess what? I got to deal with this woman at work. What do you think she go? I'm a man, so she's already going to try to, ahab me or do these things like that. So you got to realize that.
Yeah, that's what you said.
Yeah. What Joy just said. This is also why these young boys end up acting up in their teen and young adult years. They have been in pressure cooker. What did you expect? Yep. So I agree 100% with you, Joy, because that's what you're doing. You're setting them up for failure, and that's why. I'll go one step further too. That's why a lot of men are in jail, and you wonder why they're in jail. Because you go back to the history, a lot of them come from a single parent home. It's usually a mom, and I bet you if you look at that mom, she probably a narcissist. I'm not saying all of them, but I'm saying some of them are narcissists, and that's where all it came from. So yeah, some of them. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So let's get into this next question. Let's see.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, some good comments.
Oh, that's for me?
Yes.
I set myself up. Why do women narcissists emasculate their sons and parentify their daughters? That's I guess kind of what I just said. I touched on a little bit with the women, putting the son as the head of the house and things like that. Why do they do it? I think because they paint it in a corner sometimes. Not all of them. Now, remember, I gotta keep saying that. Not all women. I'm not talking about all women, but the narcissist women that I'm talking about this narcissist women, mothers, or women in general. I think that, well, with this question, narcissist women, I think that they paint it in a corner, and they have a son. They just got a divorce, whatever the case just happened, but they look at that son and they look at him as the go-to, that he's going to save the house. Like, you know, especially, let's not even get to the person that's playing basketball or got the opportunity to go to the NFL, NBA. Oh, he's going to be the savior of the family because now he had to buy his mama a house. He got to buy his mama a car. He got to keep up with this lifestyle and all these things. So now he got a target on his back. So he can never really be a real husband to his wife that he eventually marries because he taking care of his mom. And his mom, we just watched it on that show, Blackish. The mom and the son, not saying that she's a narcissist, they just had a weird relationship. They hung out just too much. There was no boundaries. And we talk about boundaries all the time. So I think that, you know, women do that because, like I said, they in a single household, they trying to do what they can, they working, they taking care of kids, and then, you know, that's why they do that to the son and the daughters, to be honest with you. That's my take on that. What do you think?
It's all about control.
Yeah.
It's all about control. The narcissist, whether male or female, is all about exerting control. And the best way to do that, sons love their mothers. Sons look up to their mothers and their fathers, but they look up to their mothers. They want, when they're little, they think their mothers is a lot of times are the most beautiful woman, and then the narcissist mother is going to use that son's weakness against her, just like Jezebel used Ahab's weakness against him. So we know that from a spiritual perspective, we know that is a spirit. We know that is a Jezebel spirit. Jezebel seeks to control whichever she's a part of. Her goal is to dominate and control, and the best way she can do that is emasculating the man and taking the man out of the home and taking the man and Ahabing him. Like I always say, she Ahabs the man. So that is another way that she can exert control. And when she does that, it creates cycles of weak men. And that's what we have today, where men are taken out of the home, where they're stripped out of the home. And we know historically from the Black community, to even get welfare or government assistance, the man had to be out of the home. So then you see that's, it's just cycles upon cycles of damage. And then the woman, the girl, if she's parentified, then all that does is create another Jezebel. It creates another wounded person who either hates men or she's going to marry a Ahab man because she wants to be in control. So now you see why the sons are emasculated and the daughters are parentified. And you see that the daughters, we're taught to be strong. When you have a narcissistic mother, the daughter must be strong, but the son, he can be weak. That's my baby. That's my baby right there. You don't really see mothers talk about their daughters like that. When I see my daughter, I'm like, that's my baby. You know what I mean? But with a narcissistic mother, they're like, the son is their baby. And they rarely do that with the daughters, because usually the daughters, once they're awakened, they can see, because that's another woman, and they can see, how a woman is, they can pick up on women. We can pick up on women quicker. So yeah. What do you think, Adrina?
Oh yeah, I agree. Women can definitely pick up on any sort of devious activity, female narc especially, with their behavior. And even like, as far as like devious behavior and strategic agendas of female narcs, something like cheating or whatever in relationships, men are not as slick because of how our minds operate. So you guys get caught more easily, however that happens or whatever, in a given person's dynamic. But women are just more crafty with it, if that's the kind of woman that they are. And it's the same thing with being a female narcissist. That's how female sociopaths are able to be, or to go so undetected, because they're slick with it. They're slick, physically attractive or not. A person can, if a male target is an intellectual or just into just whatever they're into, the female narc will mirror so strategically and connivingly that man's likes, dislikes, passions, goals in life. If a man if a man's a certain age in life and has no kids and has never been married, especially, the right female sociopath, if she's able to encounter that man online, offline, or whatever, she will put that scheme together real good in order to, over time, not only, learn his personality in and out, learn just the ins and outs of that man. Plus, when she finds out that he has some unhealed childhood trauma, goodness forbid, and has ever been married and wants to have a family and stuff like that, the way she will manipulate that thing and all those dynamics for, no, it's the truth. I mean, yeah. So yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So,
yes. Are we? Is that a question later? Just the signs of the covert narcissist? Did we discuss that? Okay. So some of the signs we know, like really passive aggressive, the same that are in men, but with women, passive, they're more passive aggressive. They're much more covert. They are able to slide up under the radar because they use the feminine energy, the feminine femininity to their advantage. So whereas a man is usually more slick and more not slick, but more overt, I think the woman narcissist is more covert, and she's going to use guilt, shame, and her femininity to her advantage, where the covert narcissist, or a male, he uses slightly different tactics. But the female narcissist, especially mothers, they lead by guilt, shame, and fear. And if they can get you into that trap, then they have you, and then they can manipulate those feelings over time. Yeah. What's the next one?
That's good. Kathy this comment about how she raised her son to not use women.
Oh yeah, that's good right there. Right there. You just had it. Yeah. My son learned not to use women and take advantage of us. It was a lesson for us both. Sadly. Yeah. Yeah.
Let's get into this next question. Let's see. This one's for you, Shannon. What is society's view of women and matriarchs, and how this plays into narcissistic women?
I kind of just hit on it, and me and Sean talk about this all the time, and on her channel, how with women you don't talk about the matriarch, and that's why a lot of people can't heal, because a lot of people are in denial about especially when you have a narcissistic relationship. That is a familiar spirit that was picked up from somewhere. You were likely groomed from somewhere. And a lot of people, and it may be their mother or their father or something else. Like for me, it took me a long time to realize that my mother was a covert narcissist. And it took me so long, for one, because I never would allow my mind to even go there. Like you just, especially in the Black community, probably any community, really, the mother is so revered. You just don't allow yourself to go there. So when you finally get to a point where you're ready to heal, you have to allow yourself to examine even your mother. You have to examine yourself. Like when you read this, you're like, oh my God, am I the narcissist? Like, is it me? And then you look further along in your history, you're like, oh my goodness, my mother is this. But a lot of people, they won't allow themselves to even think that way about their mother. They probably can pinpoint certain patterns, but to fully say, I think my mother's narcissistic, no. So that plays right into society's view that we just don't touch. We don't touch motherhood. It's so revered. We don't do that. And then with mothers, as long as you can cook, clean, host things, oh, you're in there. Nobody will ever question. As long as you're on the outside, you look good and you're taken care of. Nobody will ever question if your mother's a narcissist, because she has this picture perfect image. And now on social media, everybody's perfect, so everybody can be perfect, and women, they can just slide right under the radar. So it plays right into the narcissist's hand. What do you think?
I'm happy about the points about cooking and cleaning and being domesticated or whatever. Although,
yes,
hey, it's good when both genders can do like certain things and mutually contribute, in different ways in a relationship. Fine, not going there. But Roachface used to always make this comment about how she's a traditional woman. You know how, well, you've heard, those of y'all that have heard the abrasive voice, you know how she sounds. All right. So with all her abrasiveness, she mentioned how she's a traditional woman and is going to be a traditional wife or whatever. She cooks and she cleans, which I do too. And in my situation, that was known or whatever. But of course, female narcs especially are always trying to one up their daughters, especially their so-called friends, co-workers, clients, whatever, the female narc has to always just one up another woman in her space. Okay.
Yes.
So she's using those sort of domesticated qualities that she supposedly has in order to keep, said target or whatever hooked as long as possible, so on and so forth. And then, of course, to present to her harem that she has in Discord, to present to them that she's picture perfect and this. Then she has her whole deceptive charm and deceptive sense of humor. She can knock out GIFs and memes to keep the people laughing, and all that. And so she has her whole machine well oiled. So yeah.
So, and you hit on a good part. They're ultra competitive and they mirror you. You'll start to see like they're doing little things like you, and you can see them if you pay attention. You see them like sizing you up. You know what I mean? It's like locking you in on your target. You know what I mean? And once they see something and they see that you're a threat or something, then they just hone in on you, and now you become their enemy, and you don't even know it. Like you still think that y'all are cool. You think that y'all are good, and this woman has locked in on you, and now she sees you as her arch nemesis, and you don't even know it.
Literally my life, like verbatim what I went through. So verbatim what I went through.
It's crazy. It is. What do you think, Solomon?
I mean, y'all covered that one. I have nothing actually to add to that. I mean, it's nothing really to add. It's right. Everything both of y'all said it's a competition is what it is. It's a competition, and you might not even know you're in it. What's crazy, it's a game and you don't even know you're part of it. So you find out later on you've been played. You're like, wait, what? So you sitting there showing them all this love and sincerity and hugging on them and loving on them, and the whole time, every time you turn your back, they're throwing knives in your back, because that's what they do. And I mean, that's what I see, with the female narcissist when they do things like that. They'll take that daughter-in-law in or that daughter, or whoever, they'll take them in and befriend them. And, oh, girl, I love you and thank you for coming, marry my son and just that and the other. Okay. And then right after that, give it a few months and you're like, man, what just happened? I thought that was the mother-in-law, the good mother-in-law. So we see that too many times that plays out, you know what I'm saying? Not saying it happens all the time, but it does happen a lot when you're dealing with a female narcissist.
Yeah, it's crazy. It is. They are ultra charming and funny and all the things, but all the while turn your back, and they will actually they don't even wait for you to turn your back.
In your face.
Right. Just
in your face, they're betraying you. In your face, they'll betray you. Kefli made a good comment. Kefli made a good comment about how they'll repeat an idea or something that you told them as if they just thought of it. How many times that happened to me? Child.
Definitely.
I'm telling you.
Yeah.
I'm telling you.
And I'm sure you see, especially let's like single white female, whatever you do, they will mirror you. They will mirror just simple, basic things. And then you'll pick up on you like you'll see it, and then you're like, wait a minute, I said, like in conversation, I said that when we were on the phone, and then they just present it as if it was their own, like verbatim, not even adding or changing like we do in school, so you don't plagiarize. They say it like verbatim, and then everybody's looking at them like, yes, and you're like, I said it. Okay. Yes, it is. Oh, that's a good one.
Let's get into this. Well, let's roll. Hey, how you doing, family? Welcome to the channel. You made. I don't know if I said how to use it. Thank y'all for being in the chat with us. Let's get into this next question.
Ooh, yeah.
Why do men stay quiet about abuse? Oh, that's my name on there. I thought,
really?
I thought for one.
No,
thought for you, Adrina.
You was hoping it was for me.
Yeah, I'm hoping it was for me. Yeah, I'm hoping for one of y'all. But to be honest with you, I think it's the masculinity thing. Hey, how you doing, Tara? Tara, said it right. Yes. I think it's the masculinity thing, and I think what happens is most men, especially when they're around their boys, their guy friends, they're not gonna want to go tell they was abused by a woman, because first thing that's gonna happen, man, get out of here, man. A little bitty woman beating you up, or she cut you. Come on, dog. They start making fun of you, so then you got to deal with that. So I think that's why a lot of men would not tell. And then you got to go like one step further. When let's say you do call the cops and say she's beating up on me, the cops are gonna come there. I've seen this before. They'll laugh at you. In a lot of cases, they're like, "Really? She beat you? Like, really?
Yeah.
Like, come on now." So I had an incident that happened to me, and what happened was my ex-wife, and you know, it was altercation, but I never, you know, I to this day I never hit a woman, never will. But she had scratched up my neck, you know, my chest, everything was scratched up. Only thing I was doing was kept pushing her away. So what happened was, long story, I mean, I'll make the long story, make it short, but what happened was, you know, I ended up calling the cops. I remember the sheriff department came. A woman, she's like, oh my God, you know, she took pictures, you know, this back in the 90s. She took pictures of with a Polaroid camera. I remember when it came out. it developed, I guess I'm telling you my age, but anyway, she took the picture and everything, and she said, we're gonna have to, you know, because at that point, all I want to do is go get my clothes out of the house. I'm kind of, you know, I'm done with the situation or whatever. So we went to the house, and the way the Louisiana law works, all a woman has to do is say that you hit them. Well, being that the cops had told them my story, you know, they got pictures and everything. So the cop walked in there, and she came back out. She said, "Babe, I'm so sorry." She said, "But and I never told nobody this. Shannon really the only one that knows this, and a couple other people." She said, "Babe, I'm so sorry, so I'm gonna have to arrest you." I was like, "Wait, what?" She said, "I didn't see any bruises on her. She couldn't show me anything that you touched her or anything." She said, "But I'm going to have to place you under arrest." I'm like, "What?" And she put me in handcuffs and put me in the back of the car. I went down to the now I'll tell you how God works. I will tell you this. This is how God works. Now, this is a Friday night. And I'll tell you that a lot of times, like the guy told you know, he did the fingerprinting and all this stuff. I've never been arrested before. So he did the fingerprinting. This is like gotta be Friday, probably around 7, 8 o'clock. It was dark when I got there. So he did the fingerprinting, did everything, you know what I'm saying? And so he said, man, so I asked him, I said, man, when I'm gonna be able to get out of here? I'm thinking I'm getting out, you know, tonight or in the morning. He said, man, bro, you ain't gonna get out here till Monday morning. You know, it's Friday night. He said, I ain't got no judges on the weekend. I said, do what? So I remember he put me in the cell. Luckily, I was in there by myself. And I was just praying and talking to God. I'm like, man, I say, God, I didn't even do nothing because I'm really, you know, going back and forth. Say, how did I end up here? How did I end up, you know, in jail tonight? Never did anything. I got scratches and stuff on me. The way God worked, though, remember I told you the guy said I wasn't gonna get out. So it's Friday night. The dude walk in. Now I had been in there about an hour and a half. He walks in. He said, man, I don't know who the hell you know. He said, but I never seen this before. So I've been here about 5 years. He said, I've never seen nobody get out of jail on a Friday. He said, who you know? I said, what are you talking about? He said, man, you just got bonded. He said, come on. So I got out. Luckily, it was my uncle. He knew like the judges and stuff like that. He's a pastor and everything like that. So he was able to get me out of jail. So fast forward to the DA. So, you know, we going to the DA. We had to meet up there. And what happened was they was like, DA called me in first. He said, look, he said, you know, he asked me, did I know, you know, this one person name? I was like, yeah. He said, you know, this other person? I was like, yeah. That was my brother-in-law and sister-in-law at the time. What happened was, say how God works again, they both wrote statements saying that I never touched this woman. And that's her brother and sister. So they wrote the statement saying that I never touched her. He said, so I already dropped all charges on you. He said, it's an open and shut case. He said, but do you want to file charges on her? And at the time, you know, she had my daughter. And I was like, no, but I look back on it, maybe I should have. But God worked that whole situation out. So it could have went differently. But my whole take on that, like I said, with abuse, in my situation, you know, the cops believed it because I had bruises and scratches all over my chest. So it was no denying that. But like I said, the crazy thing is the woman, I had never hit her. And just because she said I hit her, you know, I got arrested. But like I said, I got out. Luckily, it was about an hour and a half, 2 hours later on a Friday night. So I'm here to tell you that if you put God first in all your situations, no matter what it is, I guarantee you can get out of a lot of things that's coming against you. The enemy always gonna try to come against you and do things. So talking about abuse, talking about your abuse as a man, I think it's needed. I think more men need to step forward and say, hey, yeah, this woman abused me. And then, you know, because now you setting the standard and letting people know this woman is dangerous. Now, will she learn from her mistakes? Maybe she will. I don't know. But let's say she doesn't learn. At least the other guy, you know, people start talking. You know, you're in a small city, people are talk and they're able to learn. Okay, I might not want to date her because look what she did to Solomon. You know, he got arrested and that could have went wrong. That boy could have been in jail for a couple of years or had a record and all these other things. So you have to realize that, like I said, with God being involved, it's a lot of things that, like I said, he protected me from and shielded me from. I even know because, like I said, getting out of jail on that Friday. And the dude that just told me I wasn't getting out till Monday morning, maybe Monday afternoon. I mean, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's just a testament to to who God is and what he can do for you. So yeah, a lot of men won't say it. Like I said, they won't talk about the abuse, and that's because it's a woman and you don't want to be talked about by your peers. And then even going into the court system, again, you got judges and stuff, they'll believe the woman, like you beat the woman, even though you didn't hit them, they gonna believe that 9 times out of 10. But they will not believe the man getting beat by the woman in a lot of cases. Yeah. So yeah.
That's sad. And it's sad that happens. Nobody likes to be lied on or abused, and it's wrong. Abuse is wrong in any situation, but because women are the weaker sex, we are the weaker sex. You know what I'm saying? So some women think that it's okay for you to pop off and hit a man. Okay, it's wrong.
Roach face. Sorry.
Okay, yeah, it's wrong. It's not right if I haul off and hit Solomon. That's wrong. I'm wrong. And it's just as wrong if he hauls off and hit me. You know what I mean? So either way, it's wrong. Keep your hands to yourself, whether you are man or woman or whatever the case is. And it's wrong to lie about being abused. And that's why a lot of men don't come forward, because people look like, you let that little woman, hit on you. A lot of these little women will tear your behind up. Okay. A lot of them, and I've seen feisty little women will beat up on a big man and he just take it. You just take the blows or take the hits, and people are like, oh, that don't hurt you. Just take it. Just take it. It's still wrong. So that shouldn't be normalized. It shouldn't be normalized for a woman to hit a man, and it certainly shouldn't be normalized for a man to hit a woman. Either way, it should not be, and it should both be taken seriously, no matter who is saying it. What were you about to say, Adrina?
A couple of things. Roach face is 5'2" and just as devious as she can be. Physical abuse, which I think we'll be getting into possibly that particular point of conversation in a bit, but physical abuse is not just punches and scratches, whatever. Mm-hmm. People have knives, machetes, pots and pans, whatever else they choose to be physical with. And then as far as men and not speaking up about abuse of women that they've encountered over a lifetime, thankfully, even the narrative and the tide with that is also changing in the recent years. I'm telling you, male narc abuse survivors on Twitter, I'm telling y'all, Twitter, they be speaking up.
Good.
I saw a story today. I need to sit down and respond to it. But male narc abusers are quite prevalent and just courageous. And of course, we as the women, because we know how many of us know how the female narc is. So we chime down in the replies of a given male narc abuse survivor's experience, whether it's a mother, ex-wife, soon-to-be ex-wife, child mother, all of that. And it's just really like crazy how we're able to be like encouraging vessels and resources and all of that to one another. But I love when the men speak up, especially on Twitter. Different vibe. I'm telling you, because Twitter is not the place where Twitter is just so good. So, but thankfully that tide is changing, and the shame that men were made to feel, I guess, over the decades, for having a problematic woman in their life, whatever the relational dynamic was, that tide is changing. And that stigma and all of that is being taken away. That way, again, a balanced perspective and narrative can be provided.
Yes, I like that. And I hope that more men begin to come forward. And like I always say, you want to take the shame out of it. So to take the shame out of it, you have to stand up and say something. And believe me, Solomon saying something is going to help somebody else. You know what I mean? Danny saying something, Alan B, whoever, our brothers, Keflu, you know what I mean? Our brothers speaking up will help the other men be like, okay, well, they're speaking up. And it just starts a chain reaction, because this happens. It is very common. And what the men do, they'll just, just be like, oh, she's crazy, bro. She's crazy. No, something is really wrong with her. Like it's a little deeper and a little more devious than crazy, because we've had our, experiences where we might, get out of character or something like that. And then we kind of sit back and be like, oh my goodness, I shouldn't have did that. We've had our moments, you know what I mean? But with narcissists, it is a pattern of doing that. You think the same, you think she just did you like that. You just think she in love with you, brother. You just think she in love with you. No, this is a pattern. And the same thing she did to you, she did over here with this man. The same thing she did to you over here with this, to this brother, she did over here at work. And she just going from pocket of society, from sector of society, and doing the same thing. It's just nobody is connecting the dots. And it takes that one person to stand up and say, hey, this was done to me. And then another man be like, well, this was done to me too. She did this to me. And then y'all come together, and then you can take that person, not take that person down, but, you know, hold them accountable, because that's what they've been able to do, especially as women, is evade accountability. And then they go into that woe is me and that victim mentality, and they're able and they're going to always, a narcissist woman will always find somebody who believes her story. They will always find somebody. They will always find an unsuspecting person, a fool, a flying monkey, that the tears will flow. And you don't know, all along they've done this to other people. Yeah, you've seen the tears with the tears with no, you know, and they dry up quick, like, you know, it's no emotion behind it, no emotion, no empathy.
Now, with Roach Face can fake empathy, because she would fake empathy with me and people that we know. But Roach Face won't cry. And I'll tell you this because, and I believe that she just does not cry, because she made a comment one day. We were having girl talk, me having girl talk with a sociopath, annoyingly. And she made the comment that don't ever cry over X, Y, and Z. Because again, I told you over time, she just would do things. And so don't ever cry over X, Y, and Z, and just basically bragging about how she don't cry. Then on another day, she made a comment about how she can't stand a weak man. There were some things going on in American society or whatever, at about just stuff is just always going on, right? Okay, fine. And so there's a YouTuber that she claimed she's cool with and fond of, but this person had gone live, this male YouTuber, really awesome young man, great father, husband, all of that. And he was crying about some current events that had happened about this time last year. Roach Face brought the discussion from the man's channel to Discord, naturally, and then dogged him out. Now, mind you, this man thinks that, you know, they're cool or whatever, through their acquaintanceship or whatever. Anyway, she dogged him out and was like, oh, so-and-so was crying about this. And mind you, what he was crying about was really grief-worthy, you know?
Yeah.
And all of that. And I'm telling you, she's crazy.
You know, that's it. And that's, I'm thinking, that's narcissists. This is how narcissists have infiltrated. This is why men don't feel comfortable talking, because a woman narcissist with the Jezebel spirit has come in and told them, suck them tears up out of you, know, stop that crying, you know, don't be weak, you know. And now you see how it has just infiltrated society over and over. And I remember being on the phone with, I didn't know they were narcissists at the time. And it's exactly the same thing you're saying. They would, if anybody showed weakness or sadness, it was like they pounce on fear. So that's why we can't fear them. When they smell fear, oh, they attack. It's like blood. They're like, oh, they so weak. I wouldn't have did that. They showing emotion. And you know, at the time, I didn't realize that that's what they were doing, but they do not. Once you show emotion and fear, it's like blood. They pounce on it. So you're exactly right. That is so true.
Carmaray, welcome to the channel, Carmaray. She said that Joy had put the link up. Thank you, Joy, for that. Yeah, smear campaign. You want to dig into that right quick before we go to the next question?
Just the smear campaign?
Yeah.
What aspect of it? With the female narc or something? With the female narc, that smear campaign, I told you with my family, it was way worse than it was with the ex-husband. It was worse because all they have to do is cry. All they have to do is just put a little bit of truth with a whole lot of lies and play the victim, and everybody will run over to their side. So with that smear campaign with the covert narcissist, and the thing is, you don't realize, like, they've already been smearing your name before you catch on. So they're 10 steps ahead of you. They're already planning for your discard when they meet you. They already know after that love bombing phase, after they start to see that, you know, you have faults and, you know, they have faults, after they figure out that you go from the idolation phase, then they already start to discard you in their mind. They already start to devalue, and they're already planting and plotting and ploying on you from day two. Day two, they are plotting on you. Day two, they're plotting on you. So you don't even know. So they're 10 steps ahead of you. And that's when you have to go into like that super empath mode. You have to stay ahead of them. And it's sad because we're not designed as empaths to stay in that supernova, that super empath mode. But you have to, because you have to, like, for a period of time, you got to stay a step ahead of them. Then you got to get out of there. You got to get out of there, because those smear campaigns will destroy. Well, they want it to destroy you. Yeah. Mm-hmm. What's the next question?
Absolute predators. Mm-hmm.
Predators. They are predators. Yes, they are.
Next question we actually just covered, but we're getting Adrina actual thoughts on this.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
What are your thoughts on narcissistic women physically abusing men?
Well, we partially discussed this, and just delving more into it. Abuse is not just physical, no matter who the target is, but of course, with a female sociopath and like a male victim or target. Sorry, excuse me. Abuse, can be and is like spiritual, emotional, financial, sexual, psychological, and otherwise. And I wrote down, so I'm looking at my notes as well. But so female narcs are fully and demonically capable of all types, all collectives of abuse, right? Like on any given day, they may employ 3 of the total number of kinds. Depending on how they woke up that day, well, they probably didn't sleep that day or the night before. You see what I'm saying? So depending on how the day started, okay, and what the mood is going to be for that day. And then, of course, coercive control is a form of abuse as well, on top of the other dynamics, financial abuse and otherwise. And so, there's just different dynamics of abuse when it comes to the female sociopath, especially. And they're very subtle about it because they just can be very subtle about how they go about abusing their targets. And until, of course, over time, a certain target, son, daughter, whoever takes notes, and like over time they start having, you start having flashbacks and recollections of like trends and stuff. And it's like, wait. And then you might find yourself on Google or whatever, or you might find yourself on Twitter one day, find some answers and be like, oh my God, this is what I'm dealing with. And so, but no, abuse has never just been a physical, whether it's narc abuse or not. But in this case, the context is narc abuse. Abuse has never just been physical. So that's that on that.
Yeah, you're right. They take whatever's in their kit bag, their tool bag, and they employ it. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, let me go back. I got something else. Oh, that didn't work. Oh, tears didn't work. Oh no, let me try this. Let me let my mask slip. And if you've ever seen that mask slip with a female narcissist, oh, it ain't nothing nice. That voice will change. You think you're talking to a dude,
No,
that demon shows, and it's like, what do you and I'm like, whoa, I thought I was talking to I was talking to a woman. No, that demon manifest is nothing to play with.
Hey, what's up, Adrina? So you telling people I'm a narcissist? I'm like, oh, my phone. Oh, pause. I guess in this moment, sorry. I brought that up. I wanted to clarify something I had said the other day regarding the voicemail that she left me like 8 weeks post discard or whatever. So I blocked her on WhatsApp, like an international texting communication app, whatever. She called me long distance, like London, like from her phone, like no app. I'm at like the middle thing or whatever. She called me straight long distance from London to leave me a voicemail talking about something. Hey, what's up, Adrina? So you're telling people I'm a narcissist, and then whatever else she said that I don't know. She said because I'd cut off the voicemail and deleted it. She called me straight long distance to be crazy.
I guess she said that 30 seconds or a minute or whatever it was worth it.
I'm telling you,
it's worth it. Right? Yeah, it's worth it. Let's go for the next one. It's worth it. That's how twisted their minds are. Once they lock in on you, that's it.
That's literally it.
Crazy.
Let's see what Rizzo said. Rizzo said it takes 5 positive comments to eradicate 1 negative or hurtful comment. Verbal abuse can be as impacting as physical abuse. Cuts from verbal abuse run just as deep as well. You said that, brother. He right. And everybody always say sticks and stones don't hurt. They hurt. Sticks, stones, and words, they all hurt. I mean, it depends on how they use them. And because the words can hurt more, because now with social media, the words aren't just said to you, it's posted on social media. So now these words, it's like you said, they grow legs. So this, you know, they got videos, they have, you know, the social media, Facebook, Instagram, all that. So these words have even more meaning because now they speaking the words up on YouTube. So they want to slander your name, they can just go make a video on YouTube, or they can, you know, post a thing on Facebook, and they really want to, you know, back to that smear campaign. So yeah, words can actually hurt. It's not back in the 80s and 90s when we didn't have internet and, you know, they can only get tell a couple of people about you and you're like, yeah, whatever. You know, that's two people in the neighborhood. It really don't matter. But now they can reach, basically they can reach a couple hundred to thousands of people depending on how big their following is on whatever they own. So yeah, words can, yeah, definitely abuse. I definitely agree with that. Thank you for sharing that.
What are you going to say, Adrina? Adrina was going to say something.
Smear campaigns can go viral.
Yeah. Yeah, we see it every day. And
Smear
then
campaigns can go viral. Yeah.
Yes. And that's what Rizzo said. It takes 5 comments. It's okay, you don't have to find it. But if you think about it, and even I have to do this too. You can have a video that has 1,000 likes, and you will notice that 1 or 2 dislikes. And you will zone in on it, like, what did they do? Somebody took the time and the energy to dislike my video instead of just passing by it. Or if you see it on social media where people get thousands of comments, but somehow they hone in on that one negative comment. But you see people, they act like they're unbothered, but we're really not unbothered when it comes to certain areas. Certain areas can trigger us. So it's just good to be aware. And like Keflu said, you'll see it. And then, what was I about to say? You'll see it. And then it's like, it does take those positive comments and that positive reinforcement to kind of smooth over the 1 negative or 2 negative comments you got. So words do hurt. They do hurt.
Let's get into this next question. Oh, you got something to say, Adrina?
Oh no, something that kind of just came to mind to finalize that moment is like depending on the spirit of the person that a certain comment or remark is made from, depending on the, I guess, the deliverer of a certain remark. It could be a word curse that a person is trying to pronounce, right? If it could be rightfully discerned that that's the person's intent, and of course, let's just say, hone this in on the female narcissist. Yeah, like word curses over time through conversations, and again, just like I mentioned a moment ago, is like over time, you know, you just start to have, I guess, revelations over time of the different. You have revelations over time, and then you're able to properly identify what X, Y, and Z was over time.
Right. Yes.
I like this comment by Kwame Rain. I never heard the term intimate terrorism.
That's what
I like
it is.
That should be a type of charge for these offenders. I've never heard that before.
That's what we calling it from here on out. Intimate terrorism.
Intimate terrorism. Okay. Let's get into this next question. Okay, what are the spiritual perspectives of women narcissists, Shannon?
It's just what Adrina said a minute ago. It's word curses. You know, and I'm going to do a video on this probably, I don't know if I'm going to do a premiere tomorrow, but narcissism and witchcraft. Narcissism and witchcraft go hand in hand. A lot of people that I talk to, a lot of their narcissists have spoken word curses over them. And like Adrina said, about the word curses, you have to be careful what you come into agreement with. So that's why when people say stuff to you, you gotta be protecting your spirit. You have to be protecting your energy. You got to be protecting yourself and blocking that stuff out. And that's why, you know, people think no contact is like a punishment or something like that for the other person. It's not punishment. It is protecting your spirit from letting these demonic forces have access to you. And that's why so many people continue to be affected by them, because they're still in contact with the narcissist. Now, if you have kids with them, that's totally different. You know, you're going to have to go gray rock or something. But for people who are in narcissistic families and they stay in contact with them and then they're speaking these things, you're in an ungodly soul tie, and you're in agreement with them. You're in covenant with them. So you have to be careful about what you allow to affect your spirit, man. So we know that these are spirits. These are demonic spirits. Okay, so from the spiritual perspective, that's what narcissists are. They are demonically influenced. Some people say possessed. Some people, whatever the terminology is that you demonize, that you choose to use, it is all the same. Bottom line, they have a lot of unclean spirits and a lot of demons in them. And I think like me and you can have unclean spirits in us, but with narcissists, the demons have overtaken their personality. They've overtaken their mind, and their mind is to kill. Their mission is to kill, steal, and destroy you. That is their assignment. So if you think that your husband is your husband, no, and he's a narcissist, no, he is a demon sent to just kill, steal, and destroy your abort your mission. The same thing with a friend. The same thing with your mother. Somewhere along the line, something happened, some trauma, and that's what they're there for. So that's why it's so important to break those chains and break those soul ties. So from a spiritual perspective, it is somebody who is wrestling with a lot of demons.
You want to touch on that, Adrina?
Oh no, I mean, same sentiments, really, same sentiments. In the future, I need to start, I guess, delving deeper into just my own experience of like and realization and revelation of the fact that Roachface operates from a demonic space and place and all of that. Because initially on my channel, 2 weeks post discard, I mentioned the smear campaign briefly, and of course she's still subscribed to my channel, so she made a reaction video, and the video I was talking about was just like personal life reflections. So I wasn't even focusing on her. I was talking about my own life, and at that time it was 2 weeks post discard, and I was even the strength I even garnered to make a video on my channel 2 weeks post discard. That was some strength. Okay. Anyway, so she attacked that video naturally. Who cares? But then my first video came 3 months after, in like September, I think. And I think my video is called "What is Narcissism Exactly?" or whatever I called it. And so I touched on the psych dynamic of it all, which also has like, if a person can properly discern, like, one of us three or various people in the chat, we can discern through reading various psych articles or whatever. We can discern and all of that, and then see the spiritual warfare dynamics of triangulation, this, that, and the other. But I'll be, and now that I don't know, I just grow more comfortable with talking about the fact, I definitely will be going more into the spiritual warfare dynamic of it all, etc. Because it's both spiritual and psychological warfare, point blank, period. So
it is. And I did a video on rumination, and it all ties into that. And that's why it's so hard for people to get those thoughts out of their head, and it's so hard to stop thinking about the narcissist, because a lot of times that soul tie is there. And somebody just said that about how they talk in trance into your ear at night. And even if they're not next to you, a lot of them are into astral projection. And that is what things that witches and warlocks, y'all think this is, I told them I'm gonna do a message on this, I think tomorrow, on witches and warlock and narcissism, because these are the things that they are doing to demonically influence you. And we think that, oh no, they're not doing that. Oh yes, they are. Yes, they are. They are speaking word curses, and that's why it's so important to break those word curses, so that your mind can subconsciously begin to dismantle their word curses and the things that were spoken over to you. So it's not just breaking the soul tie. That's definitely one element, but you have to go into warfare and break those hexes and curses and strongholds that they have spoken over your life. Yeah.
I have nothing to add to that. Hey, Phoenix Rising Queen Speaks. Welcome.
Bye, Cappy X. I just want her to know that.
Hi, Cappy X.
Yes. See you later, Cappy X. Let's see. Let's go to the next one.
What's the next one? Oof. Yeah.
Okay. It's coming to a dream. Let me get this off. Okay, this one is how do we heal from a covert narcissist? This is going to Adrina.
Wow. I had various points, and then when I saw this question, I thought about my part 1 and part 2 vid on it's pretty recent, I think from January, on what did I call it? How to heal and recover well, or how to heal and thrive well post-narc abuse is I think what it's called. I thought about some of the points I made there, pulled those up, then I did some other work as well. So I've got various points. They're kind of in depth. No particular order. So for one, I put, you have to learn all about the necessity of self-compassion so that you can master the goodness of not blaming yourself for being born into a narc family, especially if your narc parents, for instance, are covert. Finding yourself friends with a covert narc or whatever the case may be, in a relationship with one, in a marriage, in quotes, with one, etc. So just mastering and not blaming yourself for getting involved in that kind of dynamic. And then with self-compassion, I put that knowing how to practice and execute self-compassion in your life will help you to just help you to process things. And then
what does that look like? Give me an example of what is when I practice that. Like, just give me something. What is it when I practice self-compassion? What is that? Is that looking in the mirror, telling to myself like positive things? What is that?
Self-compassion. Oh my gosh, what would self-compassion look like?
Is it just being kind to yourself?
Yeah, just really being kind to yourself. Being honest with yourself. So being honest with yourself about, which I went into that point as well further down. Being honest with yourself. Where did I put that point? Shoot, find out. Okay, hold on. I'm sorry. Work through the. Be honest. Okay, so be honest with yourself about any personal qualities, good or bad qualities.
That's good.
Good or not so good. Good or not so good. Good or not so good qualities that may have prompted the narc to have entered your life. Of course, if you were born into a narc family, I mean, you can't help the family you're born into. So that also. But just be honest with yourself about any personal qualities that may have prompted the narc to enter your life or prolonged your connectivity if you are a child of narc parents. Because at some point, especially if you're like a black sheep of the family, or if you're like the scapegoat child, you got to go no contact. I mean, you have to, or low contact at the very least, but no contact for sure. Just being kind to yourself. Because like ruminating or obsessing over the entire sequence of events, whether it was a long-term or short-term narc connection, ruminating / obsessing over just everything, the aftermath, everything in between, so on and so forth. It can drive you to suicide, worst case scenario, death by suicide, worst case scenario. It can drive you to self-harm. Otherwise, it can drive you to alcoholism, just different toxic, harmful ways of coping. So that's where self-compassion comes into play. Like, just looking, and I didn't do like a whole in-depth thing on self-compassion.
No, that's good.
I don't want to. If you can see my notes, I have like you can't really see my notes on my tablet.
You're so organized, Adrina.
I am. So I have a paragraph.
No, Adrina, those are good. You hit on 3. Look, I'm writing as you're talking. I mean, that's it right there. It's like acceptance, forgive yourself. That was one of the hardest things. Like, I can forgive everybody else easy. I was groomed to forgive everybody. I was just groomed to forgive and let it go. So it was easy to forgive anybody that hurt me, but forgiving myself, that was the hardest part. And I spent a lot of time in my therapist's office, like, why can't I forgive myself? And then I had to unpack and go back and do everything that you said. So be kind, be honest with yourself. And I had to examine that, because a lot of times we like to talk about the narcissist, not like to talk about them, but we have to. By nature of what has happened to us. We have to talk about them and examine what has happened. But like you said, we also have to examine the parts of us that are unhealed. And what red flags did we miss, and why didn't we leave at the first red flag? You know what I mean? And why didn't we examine the patterns? And then it just makes us become smarter. It makes us implement our boundaries, which a lot of us weren't taught. So everything that you said, I've had to go through. And like you said, sometimes you have to go low contact, and it's okay to be alone. Like, it's okay The humans, we don't like being alone. We don't like it. Before Solomon, I had to go through that. I had to go through the wilderness, as I always call it. But in that, I learned about myself, and I learned everything that you're saying, almost like verbatim. I had to implement that to myself. So you're right. That starts the healing process, and then there's other work to do, but that definitely starts it. So that's good.
True. And I'm happy you brought up how like forgiving yourself was very challenging for you when you came to the sobering realization that your mother's a narc and all of that. For me, because of the points I just made about you have to like be kind to yourself regarding however the narc was able to get into your life or remain for so long. In fact, people, of course, were born into narc families. For me, I'm not going to say it was a matter of time before I encountered a sociopath. God is using it for my good and all of that, etc. For me, I'm an empath. I didn't find out I was an empath until
right.
Like I've been operating in that because that's just how I was designed, you know. But I didn't know until like 3 months post discard when something was like, go to Google and look into this empath stuff because I heard the word because I've heard the word for like about 5 years, but I never looked into it and stuff like that. And I don't want to go on too much of a tangent. How do I say this? Be brief. But yeah, so for me, being an empath, of course, I'm sure she knew before I knew that. That's what because she knows. She's admitted that she's a narc demon. The girl has admitted that she has consciously for the past at least 6 years. She's 22. Oh, by the way, Roachface is 22. And y'all say these things get more and more evil, devious, vindictive as they get older. She's only 22. And you guys, from my videos and whatnot, y'all have seen how demonically delusional, okay, she is. But yeah, so she's known, and she's admitted for knowing at least since she was 16 that she is a sociopath. But so for me, I wouldn't say it's a matter of time if I encountered a sociopath this lifetime, but ultimately, you know, it's been worked out for my good, and I was meant to take apparently all the betrayal I took in order to be a vessel in such a community that I had no idea even existed because I didn't know people.
Right. We don't know until we know.
So I had my very own nightmare experience. But yeah, I didn't know I was an empath until the latter part of last year, which is pretty ridiculous and almost unfortunate, but thankfully in this case, better late than never. But then when I discovered that beyond the narc experience, it explained so much of my 35 years of life. I say, y'all wasn't going to tell me. Because obviously my parents and all of that did not like train me doing that and they themselves. And then in school, in church environments, for sure. But y'all don't want to hear facts about y'all churches.
No, we get it.
It's a real environment that really should have been disgusting. But anyway, where else? So yeah. So thankfully I do my due diligence and discovered on my own, thankfully. And so the end. So yeah, that's that on that. So both transparent moments on how we ended up encountering what we encountered. How else do we heal from covert narcs? My bad. Self-compassion. Talk about going no contact or low contact. Because we know that he or she, but especially she, will continue to use a pawn. No. I said figure out and stand firm in a plan of action to go no or low/minimal contact with the narc demon and anyone he or she could and or will use as a pawn of vengeance on you for, you know, hoovering, stalking, and
Solomon talked about that on Wednesday. Like you gotta cut everybody off if you want to stay no contact.
And then of course you have to find helpful and productive ways to deal with your anxiety and depression. Because I think those two are probably just going to be side effects of the aftermath of it all, regardless of whatever relational dynamic you had with a narc. So find helpful and productive ways to deal with your anxiety and depression. Get into some form, and I saw this on Twitter, a remark about it, so I kind of just modified the remark, but get into some form and routine best suited for you of exercise for the sake of the physical, mental, spiritual, and emotional benefits that working out provides. Working out can be intimidating, like if you kind of have like a not so healthy mindset about being fit, but there's so many ways, like with the internet especially, that makes working out fun, creative, refreshing that, yeah. And so the various health benefits that working out has, get into that on your level and then build on it as your endurance for working out builds with whatever workout routines work best for you. There's home-friendly options for working out. You can go into nature, go to your local park, whatever works for you, like get into that. And you will seriously immediately start experiencing the benefits of that. And then want to be more committed to doing so. Stretching as well. Stretching can be very therapeutic. Stretching like as a morning routine, as an evening routine, and for sure pre-post workout, stretching is good. If you end up having, and then I know, like, as far as my situation, what did I write down? With just angels in disguise, I discovered from Google searches, starting with Quora. Quora spelled Quora. It's like an online forum. I found narc abuse survivors there first before I found the YouTube community that Joy and Tanya have, especially. I found people on Quora and I'd be typing paragraphs like, oh my God. And I got to the point where once I had typed up my experience, summed up enough, I would copy and paste my experience to like an online, like a digital post-it note, and then just copy and paste it as needed and modify it. Because I was sharing it that much with people on men and women alike. There are quite a few male narc abuse survivors on Quora as well. Right. So hold on, my tablet just closed. My goodness. Hold on. If you end up, so what did I say? I said all that to say, if you end up having absolutely no one in your life that you already know and can undoubtedly trust to walk you through your season of healing and recovery from the covert narc, pray and seek divine guidance for even one trustworthy, reliable, non-opinionated, thoughtful, etc. angel in disguise to be sent your way. In my case, the angels in disguise came through Quora and otherwise. Because for me, I did have people like outside the narc abuse survivor community, so they also were amazing and helped me out in different ways. So I have like several more ways, but you guys need to talk. Those are just some things I wrote down. Yeah.
No, those are good. And like you said, finding someone, even if you can just find one person.
One is all you need.
Used to having like 15 unhealthy people. But if you can find one emotionally healthy and then one person that just gets you and understands what you're going through, that means the world when you're a narcissist abuse survivor. Just that one person that says, girl, I get it. Man, I get it. I understand. I had a narcissist. I know that means the world. So don't lose hope. Now, who was that said that we're having a bad day in the comments? That was good, Adrina. It was somebody that said they were having a bad day in the comments. Yeah. So like somebody said, just stay strong, stay resilient. We are here with you. Anybody that's having a bad day, just know that we are here with you, and we're praying. We pray for everybody, like all the time. Solomon would be like, oh, pray for Anna, pray for, whoever. We be praying. So as long as we all do that and come together, like Rizzo also said, pray for your enemies. For me, that was hard. I'm not gonna sit up here and act like that came like, oh, you believe in Jesus, now you go pray for your enemies. No, it wasn't like that. It was like, I just had this conversation like, Lord, I don't want to pray for them. I don't. And he had to, take me through some steps, but I was honest with him about that. And that's what God wants. And now I can pray for them because I understand this is their soul at stake. So now that's how I choose to look at it. Now, are narcissists reprobate? Likely so. But I pray, this is what I pray for narcissists. I pray that narcissists hit rock bottom and lose their support system so that they can find God and they can find repentance. That is the prayer that I pray for narcissists. Because at some point, with us, when we go through these things, a lot of us find God. A lot of us find that God is our support system. But narcissists, because their support system, even if they go to church, even if they're religious, they themselves are gods to them. Now they'll say it in their mouth, I love God and I go to church and I love Jesus, but their actions show who they serve. And they are in covenant with the enemy through their actions, your fruit, that is their fruit. So my prayer is that they find God and that they hit rock bottom and that their support system is removed from them so that they can possibly find God before they are truly reprobate, because when God turns his hands off of them, God will give you over to your delusion if that's the path that you choose to go. And the God that if you choose to serve the enemy, God will allow you to do that. So if they choose to do that, God will allow them to do that. So that's my prayer for narcissists. Did you want to talk about healing?
Nah, y'all could. I don't want to.
Okay.
Get into the next question, cause
yeah, we wrapping up.
Yeah. Okay, let's get into
yeah, and I think I don't know if I touched on that a little bit. So, what is the healing process from a biblical perspective? And I think I don't know who it was that put it in the comments. Was it Carmen Rain? Somebody. It is for me from a biblical perspective. Is putting God first. You know, it's putting God first. This happened to you. You know, so life is not about what happens to us. It's about how we recover from it. Okay, it's what lessons we learn from it. Okay, so if you stay having a pity party, allow yourself to grieve. Allow yourself to grieve. But like who was it? Was it Saul or David? One of them. God asked, "How long are you gonna mourn?" You know, and he also said, "Let the dead bury the dead." And at some point, you have to pull back, and you have to realize that you have to get out of your pity party and go from focusing on the narcissist to focusing on your healing, and do all the things that Adrina had talked about. And from a biblical perspective, you are close to God. God loves the wounded. God loves the brokenhearted. Okay, he loves you. He loves the fatherless and the motherless. He loves to wrap you in his family. So if you think that you lost your family, I lost, you know, by this world standards, I lost my family, but I've gained so much. So it's all about how you frame it and all about your perspective. So from a biblical perspective, you have to trust God and give it all to him, no matter what it is that you're feeling. And God can handle those feelings. If you're feeling down, you're feeling depressed, God will always place a ram in the bush. He will always place that one friend, like Adrina said, that one person that gets you. And he will, and then, you know, like, okay, I can go on another day. Because you want to see things like 300, you know, a year from now, 365 days from now, where am I going to be? God is like, just worry about getting through today, daughter. Just worry about getting through today, son. Let me worry about, you know, the future. You just day by day, you just take this day and you give it to God. When you get up in the morning, you pray over yourself, you pray over your family, and you ask God to heal you, and you build yourself up by listening to his word and different channels that talk about narcissism, especially from a biblical perspective, so you really know what's going on. And other channels as well. I like Lisa Romano. I don't get into the love and light and all that type stuff, but it's just like with anything else, I'm able to be mature and filter some of that out. But you have to be careful when you're coming out of narcissist abuse, not to go to the witchcraft side and the yoga side and all this other stuff, because there will be a temptation to go down another path once you are healing from narcissist abuse. So yeah, just stay connected to God, trust him with everything. Like Rizzo said, let God be God. And that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. Yeah.
You got something to add to that, Adrina?
No. I was laughing at something I saw in the chat from this.
Okay. Yeah, you covered that one. You're right. I mean, I don't have really nothing to add to that. I mean, you got to go to God and all this. I mean, it's good to have friends and family that you can turn to, but a lot of times you turn to them and they're not going to be on your side, like you said. So we know God is always on our side. So that's why I'm a firm believer that, you know, you can go to him in prayer and he'll get some things to move around and work in your favor. So you have to be willing to step out on faith. And, you know, the friends and family that you think of friends and family, necessarily they're not your friends and family. Because like she just said, we've learned, especially this last year, that God is just placing different people in our lives that can, you know, be family and be friends. Because, you know, just like the people that's in here in the chat, you know, it's not a family member in here, but, you know, I'm still going to keep doing the videos, keep doing, because it's not about reaching the family. It's about reaching the family, if that makes sense. It's about reaching my new family. So, you know, and that's why I'm gonna keep doing the videos, keep putting these videos out here, because you never know what video is going to touch you. And like Carmen Rain just said, like I said, this message is saving someone from suicide. And that's right. We never know who's going to watch. Like we look at the live and we see just these people in here, but we know after the live, you know, you look at the numbers will be higher or whatever, and you
the right person don't see it.
Yeah, so the right person to see who need to see it. So you know, so yeah.
And if you're thinking about committing suicide, or that devil is getting your head, remember you have to begin to decipher the enemy's voice from God's voice. And the enemy is always going to try to kill you. He's there to destroy you. So when you're healing and you're going through those dark days, I should just end it. No, you should not, because there is such purpose in you. There is such anointing in you, okay? And that's why the narcissist targeted you. If there was nothing in you, the robbers don't break into empty houses, okay? Narcissists aren't attracted. As much as a narcissist is attracted to you for your wounds, they are also attracted to you for your light, okay? So it's something in you that this world needs. So don't believe the voice of the enemy. Don't believe the voice of a covert narcissist, a woman narcissist, a man narcissist, whatever it is. You have purpose in this life, and it's going to get dark. It's darkest before the dawn or whatever. I've had some dark nights, you hear me? But I'm so glad that that I've never been suicidal or anything like that, but I can't relate to that. But there's a lot of people who feel that way, okay? In your life, absolutely, Kefla, we rebuke the spirit of suicide, and that is a spirit. That is a spirit. So if you're feeling alone, like you don't have anybody, we have you. Look, if you want to reach out to me or Solomon or anybody in this chat, anybody in this, I know people in this group, I know their hearts, even if we never met physically, we love you, okay? So we are family here, all right? So don't ever let that enemy try to come in. You rebuke that voice, like Kefu said, you rebuke that voice of that enemy. You tell him to go, all right? Because absolutely not. Yes. And like Anna just said, God would never ask you to commit suicide. God has come to give you life, and that more abundantly. Amen. And that's it. And this is just a season. This abuse is just for a season. And then in your next season, your later will be greater. You just stick to the plan. All those steps that Adrina named, everything that we have talked about. So it's not easy for any of us. We're just on different paths, but it's not easy.
It's definitely not easy. We're gonna wrap this up because I know it's getting late. Adrina's over there. She's on the East Coast. So
Oh no, you're good. I'm about to get into my pizza when we get off here. I'll probably put a movie in.
That sounds good.
Wow, I'm telling you, Amazon Prime.
And that's the last question anyway.
Yeah, the last question is Solomon's before we wrap up here.
All right, let me do this. Last question so we wrap up. And then we'll look through the chat, make sure we ain't missing anybody or anything like that. So the last question, why don't men notice the red flags of the female narcissist?
Because she's slick.
I mean, you look at everything that what men are attracted to. So the female narcissists use that to their advantage. So the sexy, the eyes, the makeup, the hair, they use all that stuff. So we're just built different from women. So we're gonna naturally overlook a lot of things that the female does. So even if she's getting phone calls late at night or anything like that, you are gonna miss a lot of things because she'll just blow it off and say, well, that was my friend such and such. So there's a lot of things like we'll just like, it's a trust factor too. So you trusting them in the beginning. So you're not realizing that, hey, this woman is actually doing evil things behind my back. Yeah, it's like one of those things where you don't know it until it's too late. So I think I know with men, the reason why we recognize those red flags, because we probably coming out of a situation and, it's just one of the things. You see a woman, she look attractive or whatever the case is, and you just get in, you just get into a relationship sometime and it don't go your way.
So you're mesmerized by beauty versus personality.
Well, I mean, it could be a combination, but they still don't tell you their whole personality in the jump. You got their representative in the beginning of the relationship, so I'm not gonna know who you are until probably a year or two later. So at that point, I'm already head over heels in love, and then I'm sitting there like, man, I didn't screw it up again. But I will say this, you didn't screw it up again because you didn't allow God to work out that process. The same situation you just got out of, you didn't take the time to sit there. We as men and as women, we impatient. So we don't want to be patient. So you instead of you sitting there and waiting, you know, it might take God 2-3 years to bring you somebody, but you're like, nah, I gotta have somebody now. Like, dude, can you make this by yourself? You don't have to have sex. You don't need a man to buy you things. You don't need a woman to do these, like cook for you. I know how to cook myself, so I can make gumbo. I can cook crawfish etouffee. Y'all from Louisiana. I know how to cook a lot of different things, but I mean, so I don't have to sit there and depend on a woman to do certain things. So if you just sit there and wait for that it's a process. So it's like with the video I did a few weeks back. You have to go through your hurt to get to your healing. And I keep saying that because it's true. So part of you going through that, getting out of the relationship with that woman, if you jump into another relationship, you're gonna not notice those red flags because you're being too quick and you're not in your full mind to sit there and figure out some of these things. So you sitting there like, okay, it's back to what I was saying. It's a beautiful woman, y'all vibing. You know how they say y'all vibing. So you sitting there like, okay, everything is good. It's not good. You should give it a little bit more time and don't go talk to that woman. How about you sit there and because to cook a good meal, we all know if you want to cook something good, you have to sit there and let the meal cook, in the oven or on top of the stove. You can't sit there and do a microwave. And then go back to what I said before. You want that microwave relationship. So at the end of the day, you can't do that. So that's why I think we notice a lot of the red flags, and we creatures of just looking at things, and just seeing things for what it is and not really doing an investigation on who that person is. So like when me and Shannon got together, we did things a little bit different. We shared, I think you said that before. We shared HIV tests and things like that. I think people don't do things like that.
Everything.
We shared credit scores and just different things. Something I had never did before, but it made sense. Like if you're going to get into the relationship and take it to another level, get married or whatever, you should know, hey, if they HIV and negative or any other STDs, you should know how they are when they find it. You don't want to get with somebody that always blowing all the money because now you're in a situation. So you have to, like I say, as men, we have to be more patient and we have to sit back, no matter what that woman look like. I don't care who it is, Beyonce, whoever y'all attracted to, you still need to sit back and be like, let me find out if this what God want me to do, one, and two, is this woman right for me? So that's what them questions. You shouldn't be asking the questions like, when the last time you dated a man? Man, screw all that. I don't care about that. We need to get to the question. Let's get to the meat and potatoes. When the last time you had an HIV test? When the last time, what's your credit score? Let's ask the real questions. Do you live by yourself? Yeah, but I'm just saying you gotta ask. Yeah, you gotta ask more questions instead of just like when the last time you dated and how many men you've been with. Who cares? I know, whatever. I mean, that's we're not 5-year-olds. Come on.
Yeah. You really have to discern. I wasn't discerning. If I'm being totally honest, I wasn't discerning. I didn't have discernment. I did not have the spirit of discernment. I did not have that. And so what I did was I went into a relationship and then I asked God to bless it. Okay, God, I went out here and got myself a man. And now will you bless this mess? And God, like, I didn't tell you to get with him. I did not put that together. And I'm not, I'm not in that, So now that's why me and Solomon did things a lot differently. Like from jump, I asked God, like I didn't date, first of all, during that whole period. And a lot of people just jump right in, or get back into, certain friendships. But even with that, you have to just ask God who sent that person and discern if that person is from God or if they are from the enemy. Now I know to do that with everybody that comes into our life. I didn't know that then. I didn't do that. So I didn't do my due diligence with that. I just, pick somebody and then ask God to put his blessing on it. And that was the way I did that. Yeah. Why don't women? Yes, women notice the red flags. I think I just said that. Like I didn't have discernment. I did not have discernment. And I was unhealed. I was unhealed and didn't know it. So I was bleeding out, Anna, and didn't know it. Walking around like I'm okay, and I have a house, I have a home, I have clothes, I have my kids. Like I was unhealed and I was bleeding out and I was traumatized and didn't even know it because I never allowed myself to address my trauma, And now I see why. So yeah, because we're unhealed. Like, and I notice now I notice everything because I have discernment. You know, now that's it. This narcissist thing will wake you up, and I was unconscious. I was going through life unconscious. So what do you say, Adrina? Why don't women? Why, she asked the question, we were talking about why men don't notice the red flags. Why don't women notice the red flags?
Well, one point before I do answer that question, I hope I didn't forget what I was going to say. Oh my days. Oh, boy. I was going to say, now I forgot. Okay, I will go ahead and answer that question. There was something else I was going to say, but one, thank you all, Coach Natisha, for the thank yous and all of that. I mean, I'm just a vessel, man, just a vessel. But beyond all of that, I would say just with both genders and red flags with sociopaths that are out here, just desperation. I touched on this earlier, just like desperation, like unhealed childhood trauma, unhealed dysfunction and whatever else, unhealed toxic mindsets and all of that from even that have come from maybe childhood into your adulthood. And then like desperation to fill a void or what you think is a void in your life, whether that void is having never been married or being a divorcee and desiring marriage again. There's just different dynamics that a certain person, you know, we all have different lives and all of that and backgrounds. But yeah, just desperation, right? That a sociopath, male, female, but especially the female. The female is a whole different, the female narc is a different breed. Okay.
Yes.
The female narcissist is a different breed of demon. Also, that's what I was going to say to kind of, I guess, hopefully bring this home. When it comes to the fact that, like I said, for me, not that it was a matter of time before I encountered a sociopath, but I didn't know I was an empath until last year. And I didn't know I was an empath until a few months after pretty much becoming an expert on all things, the demonic presence of sociopaths, okay? And so I have actually encountered Jezebel. I've actually dealt with a woman in particular, although Jezebel is a spirit and can operate in either gender of person. I've dealt with like demonic spirits in my lifetime, but never to this caliber of what sociopaths do. Yeah, I've dealt with, like I said, I've dealt with Jezebel before, and my family has as well, because of people's choice decisions in life. Okay, but a sociopath is a whole nother level of Jezebel, and I love the Leviathan as well, because sociopaths operate out of the spirit of Leviathan as well. So, and the thing with Leviathan, that's why I love how Tanya teaches, especially. I knew about Leviathan, spirit of Leviathan, over the years, but Tanya does the best breakdown I've ever heard anybody do of Leviathan. And then again, I had never dealt with anyone that operates out of the spirit of Leviathan, or that like Leviathan has taken over until Roachface. So I was familiar with demonic spirits. I don't know how I've been equipped, I guess divinely equipped to deal with spiritual warfare, but I've dealt with a lot of spiritual warfare in my life. But this sociopath stuff has been a whole nother level. I'm like, I asked for this. I really could have done without this entire nightmare. But so I've dealt with, I've kind of been a warrior, kind of like low key on spiritual warfare for a while. So I guess I kind of just graduated and things, but yeah. So yeah.
Wow. And you're right. It's different levels. It's different levels. You know, you have a low level narcissist, and then you have, you know, like we said, as they get older, usually they intensify. So yeah, it is, you know, the word calls them sociopaths and psychopaths and border BPD and MPD and all of those, but it's all demonic. And you're right. Once that Leviathan spirit gets in there, it's hard it's like they're reprobate at that point, because that spirit will lie and twist and deceive. And once Leviathan is running the show, it's almost a wrap. Like the Bible says, who can penetrate its scales? You know, who can get in between there? Leviathan is a nasty, nasty spirit. And that's what the narcissist definitely has, the spirit of Leviathan. It's scary and they believe their lies, and they can. And that spirit, when two people are talking, that spirit comes in and twists the communication. Yes. Along with, you know, Python, it twists up the communication, and it almost puts a spell along with Jezebel. They all work in tandem. They all work in groupings. So one person can see, and then they're entrancing. While that person is talking, they're entrancing that person. and twisting up the communication. And that's why the flying monkeys are so easily fooled, because that Leviathan spirit gets in there and is taught, you know, and it's twisting up the communication. And then they just run with the smear campaign, not knowing, and Leviathan sitting back like, I've done my job here, you know, and they are the children of pride. So it's dangerous, those red flags. So why didn't we see it? It's like sending sheep to slaughter. You know, it's like having sheep in a world full of just predators and wolves, and we were unsuspecting and unknowing of this type of evil. I did not know this type of evil existed into the world. It existed in this world until I had a narcissistic encounter, and I was awakened, and I needed to be awakened. Honestly, it sucks, it hurts. It's all of that, but I needed to be awake. And most of us were unawakened to this type of evil. And that's why most people, unless they've dealt with it, they don't get it. They don't get it. So why didn't we notice the red flags? Because we were unhealed. We were unawakened. We were asleep. We were unhealed and traumatized. So now we're healing. Yeah. What do you have to say?
I have nothing else to answer. We actually did 2 questions in one, so we answered the female and the male. So, yeah. Yeah. I have nothing else to add to that. This was good. I was sitting back just listening. Like, I mean, I say, you know, I spoke a little bit more this time than last time.
Yes, questions.
Yeah, I did the questions and stuff, but I mean, again, like I always say, these videos and everything that we're doing is to help, you know, help somebody. Even we help one person out of this hour and a half, 2 hours we done been on here, it's worth it to me. Each time I do one of these videos, it's worth it. So I think that we should continue doing videos like this, and I'm going to continue doing videos like this. Shannon actually has a live coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna do one on tomorrow on witchcraft.
If
I have time, y'all see it. If not, then we'll do it next time. But I really think the time is urgent to talk about narcissists in witchcraft, because I'm seeing it way too much. So yeah, we are awakened now.
Yeah, so she's gonna be trying to work on the video, and then like I said, we're gonna keep videos coming. Adrina doing videos, you know, I'll put that at the end with all the different channels, but I mean, it's nice to have a community and have people that's like, we're learning together. I'm learning from comments. I'm learning from, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of comments, I'll be trying to keep up with them. So I'm learning from the comments, like people going through different issues. They're at different phases of their healing process. Or some of us are still in a hurting process. So it's good to have these videos. You can go back. That's what I love about YouTube. These videos on here forever. So you're able to go back and watch this video more than once, or watch another video that we have, you know, a couple of times. You know, and you know, we have our contact information on there, so you're able to contact and reach out to us, whether it's through email or whatever. So we have to remember that too. So closing, Adrina, you have any last words, Adrina?
No, amazing conversation. Thank you all for having me again. I mean, you know, and thank you all in the chat for just sharing the different ways that you guys shared and all of that and contributed to the conversation. That's kind of all I got. Yeah, I know you typically, I know last time you posted like my contact info, so I don't know if it's that time yet or not, but other than that, I don't have anything else to say.
Yeah, Adrina information is scrolling down at the bottom on the ticker, so you can see it, so you can get in contact with her.
Bye, Coach Natisha. Have a good night.
Oh, my sister leaving.
Danny, carefully having a friendly.
Yeah, quick. Yeah, you see that? You see it?
Oh, Adrina, I don't know. You might have some competition with.
Yeah, I seen them talking about that cooking and stuff.
Careful says she can throw down.
Good night, sis. Thank you, sis. Yeah, Danny, we have to get some on you and Kefla with this food. Yeah, I got me hungry. I'm ready to go eat. Well, I was hungry because you let Adrina cook something usually. So
my pizza is calling my name. I'm telling you, as soon as we log off, this computer gets closed. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm about to eat. I'm about to get out of here.
Let me read this comment. So true. If one person is saved, it is definitely worth it. Amen. Expose these demons and empower survivors and aid in healing. That's it. That's why we do these. That's why we have these channels. It's not about money. It's not about views and likes. It's about souls getting saved at the end of the day, because that narcissist was sent to destroy you. And don't let the enemy steal your voice. Some of you are, like I said last Sunday, some of you are supposed to start channels. Some of you are supposed to be sharing your story. Don't allow the enemy to steal your voice. Your voice is powerful. And that covert narcissist, she's crafty, she's cunning, but even the narcissists, even demons surrender to Jesus, okay? At the end of the day, we have the power to crush the serpent's head. So you have to remember that you are coming from a position of power, not from a position of powerlessness. You may be down for a season. You may be broken in this season, but best believe, you know, when you get up fighting. And you get up letting the devil know that he picked the wrong one to mess with. You are no one, you are God's child, and he should not be messing with you. And you give the enemy a fight, okay? You go down fighting. You don't go down. You won't even go down, but you get up swinging. That's what I should say. You get up swinging, okay? Even against that covert narcissist.
Yeah, a lot of love in the chat. Thank y'all. I mean, like Luke 12340 said, thank you to the three of you. This was a wonderful discussion. Please continue. I hope your following increases each time. Thank you for that. My sister left. Coach Natisha left. Say happy Sabbath. Definitely she had to go. Yes. Anna said yes. Shannon, Solomon, Adrina. Thank you guys.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Oh yeah. Oh, you know what? Why are we on here? Since I'm on here, and I'll let Shannon do a last thing. Me and Shannon was talking the other day. So we have some people that's right here in Houston. I know Anna is in Houston. I know Tarek is in Houston. Alan B, I think, is in Houston when he's not driving trucks. So at some point, if y'all want to get together, I mean, I know it's COVID, all the protocol and all this stuff, but I mean, if y'all ever want to get together and meet, we open to doing that. I mean, we all right here in Houston, and whoever else is in Houston, you know, that's in the chat, that's family. I mean, it'd be cool to, like, you know, just meet, you know, go out and eat or do something, you know, and just spend time. And, you know, we ain't got to talk about Narcissist that day. We just have fun. Be one day we ain't got to talk about Narcissist. Just have fun. So, I mean, I think it'd be, you know, great to meet some of y'all. And I think that'll be fun, you know. So we'll see what happens.
Yes.
Thank you, Karma Rain. She said I'm subscribing now. I appreciate it. I appreciate every subscriber that I get. Yes. Everybody that watch a video or like any of the content. So
yeah. Danny's about to get out of here. Yeah, what do you want to say?
No, do your close. I mean, what you doing this weekend and how they get in touch with you?
Oh, I just said. Yeah, so I'm on Narc Free Living. If most of the people are following me as well, we kind of we're all one family here. So make sure you follow Adrina. Make sure you follow me and Solomon and Tanya and Joy. Follow our family. Those of us that we talk about narcissism from a biblical perspective. So yeah, make sure you follow us. And like I said, I think tomorrow I'm going to work on a video, or tonight try to work on a video about witchcraft. It may not be long, but if I do it, it'll be a premiere at 7 o'clock tomorrow, just the video, and then I'll go live on Sunday. Me and Solomon continuing our series on narcissist abuse, discovery and recovery. And I forgot what phase we're in, but whichever phase is in, it's phase 4. So it's going to be good, and we're going to continue the conversations, real dialogue, answer your questions. And if you have questions that you want, either Solomon on this channel or me on my channel, if you have questions for me before we go live, you could always email them to support@narcfreeliving.com, and I will answer your questions. Oh, and Sugar Shine, how can I forget? Yeah, if you, me and Sugar Shine, we partner together and talk about that mama wound, as she calls it. So for those of us who have narcissistic mothers, her channel is definitely one you want to go and hear those messages, or on her website. So yeah, we try to support those who are in this to win souls, to save souls.
Yeah, so I just put everybody's channel up that's that we currently, and I still think I'm supposed to add a couple of more channels.
I'm sorry.
I keep forgetting Be Set Free, I think is one. I keep forgetting I'm gonna have to add on there. But like Narcon and Tonya, just say no to Narcs and Dream. I put them all up, but that's all channels that I support a lot, and I need to go back and add some. But you know, if I forgot anybody, I'll be adding more channels. Don't blame my heart, just blame my mind. I just forgot. But again,
when is the alienation one after this week, right? We start that in March. The parent.
Oh yeah, I might as well just make that announcement. Actually, next Friday, I'm starting a parental alienation series. It's gonna be a 6-part series. So every Friday, we're gonna dive into parental alienation. I got it broken down. You know, basically, me and Shannon, we broke it down. So we're going to do that on my channel, a 6-part series. I'm still going to do my uploads on Wednesdays like I currently do, but it's going to be a 6-part series of just parental alienation because a lot of people, male and female, deal with this. I know Anna talk about it a lot. I know I didn't deal with it. Shannon dealt with it from a different aspect. So different people have dealt with this. So we're going to actually do that series. I'll be making a thumbnail and putting that up on probably Monday. Besides that, we do have a speaking engagement tomorrow. Then Shannon going to be speaking. I should have had that up there, but we got a what is it called? It's called
the Let's Keep It Real conference.
Yeah,
I'm talking on how my wounds work for me. Solomon and I'll be talking a little bit about that. Then I'm gonna let him go, and then I'll finish it out. Talking about wounds and how to heal. And then yours is on Sunday. Mine's tomorrow at 2, and then yours is tomorrow or Sunday. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's like over 100 speakers. It's a free event. I actually tuned in today to listen to some of the speakers. It's actually some good people speaking. It's set up real nice. I had posted a link. I think I posted it on YouTube too. If I didn't, I'll post it in my community tab. That way I can see there's a free link, and they got speakers. I think it start with it probably 10 or 11 in the morning, and they go to like 5. And it's speakers like every 30 minutes. It's speakers. You can go in there, you can engage with people. It's a real nice setup. And like she said, we'll be speaking on that. And then we have her live on Sunday. Then we have another live right before that Sunday with some couples with Coach Erica Love. So God is working with. We're starting to do like more speaking engagement with people. So it's getting pretty a little hectic, but I'm not complaining at all. So it's fun. And I'm happy to, just be talking to all y'all and reaching out to everybody. And thanks for all the support. And thank you again, Adrina. Thank you for dropping the wealth of knowledge. Adrina came prepared. She had stuff written down. iPad just lit up.
Listen, speaking is not my gift, so if y'all don't want me to be on screen, like, what do I say? I need notes.
Yeah, I want to answer this question. So me and Sean, we do the videos. We record on usually Thursdays. So she drops them. I know she has them. She has to drop another one this week. So, but they're on her channel, Shine, Sugar Shine, and it's talking about the mother wound. And those videos, is more like a podcast. Those are good. So if you have a mother wound, go back. And we're on Clubhouse on Tuesdays. Adrina, I wish you were on Clubhouse. You would be so bomb on Clubhouse. Do you hear me?
Girl, we got to talk offline about something.
Okay. Okay.
I just said, does alienation include how parents exclude scapegoat? I don't think I put that as one of the things, but I'm pretty sure we're going to probably touch on it in one of the parts of the series. So it's not exactly scapegoat, but I'm pretty sure if you tune in on one of these, like I said, starting this Friday, it's going 6 weeks. I'm pretty sure we'll touch on one of them points. Yeah,
I can definitely speak to that. That's my story.
Faith-based workplace is great. I'm eager to join your 6-part series on parental alienation. Thank you. I'm looking forward to seeing you there. I hope y'all come out. Any last closing words before we close it out? We just hit 2 hours. Any last thing? Adrina, you first. You the guest speaker, so
I'm just honored to be in the room. I don't have anything fancy. I guess if anything, just have faith in the journey. We're all at the phases of the healing and recovery. And I got this from my friend Leslie. What is Leslie's channel called? Anyways, so I might share that with Shannon and Solomon offline. But she always ends her videos with have faith in the journey, whatever your respective journey is, post-narc abuse and all of that. New beginnings in every dynamic of our lives shall be and will be our portion. you know, in spite of complexities and complications and parental alienation and just different things that we've all or have dealt with in various scopes and all of that, new beginnings shall be our portion. Purpose being fulfilled in our lives in spite of will also be our portion. And so, yeah, just have faith in the journey and just be intentional with staying the course and minding the company that you keep. And also, I guess establishing and maintaining reciprocity. So it's not enough for like God to send an angel in disguise and even one person to become a friend to you and all of that in your season of healing and recovery. And then even prayerfully sticking around, right? Being an amazing enough person to stick around, and you guys have a lifelong friendship connection. But like, you have to actually, you know, be an amazing human as well in return to keep that blessing of a friend. In that angel in disguise around. So yeah, just be good to people, especially when they're good to you.
Be good to people.
And show up for you. And I think that's it. All right.
That's good. Just be good to people. Right. Yes. And that's hard. That's good, Adrina. I love that. Have faith in the journey. That's really good. So yeah. And I think sometimes we get comfortable and we like uncomfortable, especially if you had any trauma or any of that. You get comfortable with, you want comfort. But sometimes our biggest blessings come in being uncomfortable and when things get shaken up, you know. So like Adrina said, new beginnings. It's okay to have a new beginning. And a lot of us are going through a lot of new beginnings. And like Adrina said, just embrace wherever you are. Like, it's a necessary part of your journey. So, you know, where no matter where you are, just embrace it. And it may suck for a little while, but you're going to get through it. You've made it through 100% of your not so good days. Okay. And you're still here. You're still alive, and God is still keeping you, and you're going to make it through a few more bad days. Okay. So God loves you, and God bless you.
I forgot we gotta close with a prayer. See, Coach Natisha would get me. Pray. Even though she's not here, she's
right.
Wait, you didn't do the prayer, so I don't want to get in trouble with my sister. That's okay. So we'll close with a prayer before we get out of here. God, I just want to come to you just saying thank you. Thank you for this opportunity just for us to share, having Adrina on here, having Shannon on here on this channel. Everybody that came in, whether they listen or you know, said something in the comments, I'm just praying for each one of them. I don't know what's going on with them, but you know exactly what's going on with them, whether it's a sickness or illness or they're dealing with depression or anxiety or praying. I'm praying that they're not dealing with suicide at all, but if they are dealing with suicide, we pray that they rebuke that spirit, rebuke that out of their system, out of their mind. And we're just praying for each person that comes on here, even the people that watch it at a later date, that they're able to learn something from this. Because my whole goal is, as long as we reach one person, we can bring one person to Christ. I think we've done our job. So each video, we can just reach one. We're thankful for that. So everybody that came in to the comments, Tonya and Joy and so I can't even start naming people. I can't even name everybody, but everybody that came in, Anna and everybody. I know Anna says she's dealing with some things. I'm just praying for her directly, Heavenly Father. And then I think Phoenix Uprising, I think her name was, she's also said she's dealing with something. And just praying that you just touch these people, Heavenly Father, whatever they're dealing with. Just let them know that you're there. We might not be there. We might not be able to go out and talk to them, but you're there with them 24/7, 365, and knowing that they can talk to you, it's just awesome to know that you're real. The stories that we share are all real, and we just want to just help people. So I just want to continue praying for people. If you're driving on the road and listening to us, just praying that you get home safely. Praying for all the kids around the country and around the world, Heavenly Father, that's dealing with things. You know, things are different from when we used to be in school. Now they're doing online. Just praying for each one of these children that they're able to learn and be able to prosper and do things the right way, oh Heavenly Father. So just saying thank you for that. And thank you for this channel that we have. And thank you for the other channels and the community that we're building. Just praying that the family just continue to grow and we'll continue to share and help one another. Just asking in Jesus' name, amen.
Amen. God on this live for a second. Thank you, guys. God, yes, amen. Anna said God has a purpose for us all. Hallelujah.
That is true, Anna.
And it has nothing to do with a covert woman narc, woman or male.
Exactly. And I will play my last little video thing. So I think Shannon, did you say that about the life coach?
No, I don't need to say today.
Okay, well, she a life coach. I'll just say it. She don't want to say it, but I'm a we both certified life coaches. So if you need to get in touch, like I said, some people want to talk to men, some people want to talk to women. So you can book with us. You can go to my website. Where is it? Here you go. Faith-based workplace. It's on there. You can book on there, or you can also book on Pick Time. You can get to me that way if you want to book a session with me. First session is free, obviously, it's 30-minute session, but then after that we'll discuss, depending on what we have to do or whatever. So again, thank y'all, and we're going to close this one out. I appreciate all y'all, and God bless y'all, and we'll see you on Sunday on Shannon Live.
Awesome.
Thank you. You guys are too. Good night.
See y'all next time.